Good morning to you all. I'm Chris Jacobs, the President of Community Impact Consulting and Vice Chair of the Board of the Sustainable Business Network of Greater Philadelphia. Thank you for coming to allow us to discuss what's a really important issue. The Pennsylvania Business for Democracy Collaborative is composed of business organizations and individual businesses. Small business owners understand that strong democracy is essential for a vibrant entrepreneurial economy where small business flourishes. The two go hand in hand. We're raising the alarm today about losing our democracy. State legislators have or want to allow state and national officials to ignore the will of the people and establish a one-party rule, an autocracy. A previous administration and current members of Congress have intentionally misused the law on presidential elections voting to attempt to deny the public's will. Business for Democracy state collaboratives are using the trusted voice of small business to elevate the issue of democracy and the need to press voting reform in Congress to protect both our democracy and the economy. We're not endorsing candidates, but we are advocating for congressional and statewide candidates to support the reforms needed and are educating the public on the issue and the candidates' positions. Pennsylvania is one of the 8 states that have built Business for Democracy collaboratives. The others are Michigan, Ohio, Arizona, California, Wisconsin, Nevada, and North Carolina. Business for Democracy is a campaign of the American Sustainable Business Network, and I'd now like to introduce Jenn Nicholas. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I'm doing my breath.
Hi, I'm Jenn Nicholas, CEO and owner of Pixel Parlor, a multidisciplinary design studio and certified B Corp in Philadelphia. As a woman and business owner, I can't sit back and while our democracy is under attack. Democracy requires ongoing attention to protect it. I knew I'd have a lot to explain to my children, but autocracy was not on that list. This is a political challenge and a social challenge and an economic challenge. A weak democracy is terrible for business. A strong democracy is good for business, particularly for the lifeblood of our country's economy, small, local, and independent businesses. We need policies that protect free, fair, and secure elections for the sake of healthy democracy. A more diverse, equal, and vibrant business community requires a healthy democracy. A healthy democracy supports a healthy economy, not because the few cannot. A healthy democracy supports a healthy economy because the few cannot stand in the way of innovations, contributions, and the voices of many. We need to protect equal access to the ballot, create clear, modern rules to protect ballot counting, guarantee accountability to stop corruption and manipulation. Unequal access to the ballot hurts us all. And it hurts Black, Indigenous, and people of color the most, many of whom are business owners and entrepreneurs. For free and open access to the ballot, impacts free and open access to starting and growing a business, which is a key tool for upward mobility in communities across America. A word of warning, if there ever was a group of people who knew how to get things done, it's the scrappy and smart small business community. We won't give up, and we're not going to give up on democracy.
Thank you, Jenn. I'd now like to introduce Ali Jaffar, CEO of Key Media.
Thanks, Chris.
Philadelphia.
In a pivotal time like this, business needs democracy and democracy needs business. The two are intertwined and each one needs the other in order to survive. Business needs democracy in order to have a stable, thriving economy. When businesses are allowed to flourish, they create jobs and spur economic growth. When businesses are allowed to flourish in turn, this provides tax revenue and funds social programs that are much needed. And a strong economy is essential for democracy to function properly. Conversely, democracy needs business in order to function properly. Businesses provide the tax revenue that funds these social programs and government services. They also create a lot of good jobs and help to reduce crime and improve the standard of living and quality of life for all citizens. A thriving democracy is essential for businesses to flourish. Thanks, Chris.
Thank you, Ollie. I'd now like to introduce Steve Masters, who's here from Business for Democracy.
Business for America.
Where is it for America?
Hi everybody, I'm Steve Masters. I'm here today representing Business for America, which is a nonpartisan, nonprofit business membership organization and one of the members of the Pennsylvania Business for Democracy Collaborative. Business for America believes that a well-functioning political system in which elected officials from all parties seek out bipartisan solutions leads to a more prosperous economy and society. We also hold that safe and secure elections are the cornerstone of our republic. They preserve our democratic traditions. Protecting the integrity of our elections is one of the fundamental responsibilities of government, and it's essential to establishing effective government capable of addressing today's economic challenges. In order to achieve a healthy and competitive business climate, elections must be fair, they must be secure, and they must be accessible. Business leaders understand that declining citizen participation and a growing lack of confidence in how elections are conducted undermines trust in our representative democracy. Those running for office must uphold our country's democratic norms, electoral processes, and the rule of law. Claims of election irregularities must be submitted in good faith for judgment by the judicial system in accordance with the law, and all participants must accept the outcomes of any adjudication. The business community has a bottom line interest in ensuring public confidence in our political system. One way to achieve this is to reform the Electoral Count Act. This was passed into law back in 1887. The Electoral Count Act governs the process for casting and counting electoral college votes for president and vice president. The law's vague and ambiguous language has contributed to escalating attempts by both parties to challenge the results of presidential elections in the past 20-some years, culminating with the January 6th attack on the US Capitol. That event put our political and economic stability at risk and could have triggered a constitutional crisis. Business for America, with the support of Business for Democracy, is leading a national business campaign to support congressional efforts to reform the Electoral Count Act. Many Pennsylvanians, including those in the business community, I'm so glad that so many of you came out today, are concerned about the adverse effect that growing political polarization in Harrisburg and Washington, D.C. is having on our economic competitiveness. Simply put, dysfunctional government is bad for business. Business can and must play a constructive role in supporting a healthy democracy. Thank you.
Many thanks, Steve. Business for Democracy Collaborative conducted a survey of all Pennsylvania candidates for the U.S. House and Senate and some members standing for the House and Senate of the Commonwealth, both Republicans and Democrats. We used the survey as the litmus test for determining if a candidate would support protecting democracy if elected to Congress. We asked if they would support 3 congressional reform bills that would provide firm and stable support for America's democracy. These bills are the Electoral Count Act, the John Lewis Voting Rights Advancement Act, and the Freedom to Vote Act. All congressional candidates were contacted several times, and we're pleased that here is a representative who is standing for election himself, Ben Waxman, and is here also representing Senate candidate Lieutenant Governor Fetterman. Ben.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It is great to be here on behalf of the Fetterman campaign. You know, from partisan gerrymandering to voter suppression legislation to election denial here in Pennsylvania and in the January 6th attack on the Capitol, John Fetterman knows that our democracy is in danger, and that is why he strongly supports the legislation that is being discussed here today. John Fetterman has led on these issues of democracy and preserving democracy for a long time. He was one of the first candidates for the U.S. Senate to call for the abolition of the filibuster. He also has been outspoken on the issue of gerrymandering, partisan gerrymandering, to strengthen and protect our democracy. He also was one of the leading voices who called out the lies in 2020 when Republicans returned to Harrisburg and tried to question the integrity of the election. So John Fetterman knows that democracy is at stake, and he knows what it is to fight. Once he's elected to the U.S. Senate, he will keep fighting to expand voter access and also to support this package of legislation. And he is going to be our pro-democracy champion in the U.S. Senate. The Fetterman campaign is proud to stand with Business for Democracy to call for the passage of this important legislation. And these are important common sense reforms that need to be advocated for, and will continue to advocate for to restore trust in our democratic system. Thank you.
Thank you, Ben. And now we'll take questions.
I have a question.